Hello and welcome to our webinar. My name is Scott Tingey and it'll be my pleasure today to take you through this presentation. So, Design Essentials, a fantastic selling tool. This is a great program. We have this distributed to a lot of our accounts. Everybody that uses it loves it because what we hear about it is that it's a very comprehensive approach to custom design. It allows you to do a lot of things easily. There's just a lot contained within the program, and that's what we'll talk about today. So to start off with, let's talk about some of the features that are in this particular program. One, it has a finite custom product selection of custom window treatments that represent high rates of sale fabricated in 10 working days or less. You have access to over 10,000 SKUs of decorative fabric under the same roof as our workroom. I should say state-of-the-art workroom. Access to decorative trim and drapery hardware. You have a consumer product lookbook to assist the consumer. It's easy to order using carolnet.com. You know what? It's fast, it's accurate, and no paperwork. So we know you'll like to do it that way. Just like all of our programs, we start off by having what we call an alphabetical price list. And the alphabetical price list simply allows you to look up the fabric name, determine what price group it's in, and there's other anecdotal information. If you just wanted to sell cut yardage and not have a fabricated product makeup, it gives you the retail prices. You've got your product application codes. What we're doing at Carol now is if, for example, we know a fabric doesn't work well in a Roman shade or whatever, we actually give it little exception codes which you can look up, which will help you make decisions as you go along. Plus how wide it is, pattern repeats, all that good stuff, all listed in the alphabetical price list, a very important piece to working Design Essentials. Example of our custom products menu in there is obviously we have a drapery section, and as you can see, you have a nice picture, a nice color glossy of a single pleat drapery in this scenario, but the customer in the lookbook, and this is what the customer is looking at, has the opportunity to look at these different heading styles that are offered in this particular program. And then we also show the customer exactly what some of the options that they can take on their drapery. So, if you think it's a limited program, it's really not. Blackout lining, decorative trimming, decorative banding, fabric tiebacks, 6-inch headers and hems, inner lining, stria style draperies, grommets. So it's all the things that are out there as far as high rates of sale in the custom product menu. Specifically how it works is you'd take, when you go into it, you'd open the pricing binder up and you'd go to a section called draperies. You'd get a cover sheet here, and in this cover sheet you'd be able to look up by product name. It'd give you just a reference of what page to look at if you wanted to. So you can see there's upgrades and specifications, additional resources, lots of information on this page. But for example, I looked and I wanted to do an inverted pleat drapery. I would look up the product specifications for inverted pleat, and by bullet point it runs you down a punch list here of all the different things and how we make this particular drapery, anything from color coordinated cotton thread to double turn headings, and to make fuller pleats and all the upgrades that you can do. So that's how easy it is, and all this information is on the internet. It's also printed in pricing in the Design Essentials binder, so it's very easily to access and discuss with your consumer. But pricing it, let's just say, for example, you did a cotton duck, which I know is like a price group 5, and I wanted to do a drapery that was, say, 84 inches in width, and what we call overall pleated width, including your overlaps and returns. Then I would just come down until I find the length that I want to do. So as you can see, we can do lengths up to 213 inches. So say we had a drapery 174 inches. My choice would be lined or unlined. I would just scale across till I find the 4 widths of material or the 84 inches, and where that intersects, that's my retail price for that particular order. If I wanted to add on 6-inch pleats, I would just follow that same column down, pick up the 6-inch pleats and hems for additional $82 at retail. I might add. Boom, you have that price. No yardage calculation, nothing like that. That's how quick, that's how simple, that's how easy, and that's how accurate it is working. We talked about it's not just simple drapery. There's lots of options you can do. And you can see when you look at all this that you've got upgrades for lining, you've got upgrades for vertical banding. It all works very simple. Say I wanted to do a banding on a drapery. I would just go down until I find the price group that the banding's in, and then just go across till I find the length of the drapery that I want to band, and boom, I just add that on to the base price of the drapery that I'd priced, earlier on the page before. Simple, simple, simple. Very easy to use. We have a wide width shear component. Here again, you get a products page that you can walk down and read all the bullet points on how we make this particular product, and some of the features and benefits that you can incorporate into your selling pitch when you're working with the customers. Tells you the fullness that we offer. But to price, as we know, when you're doing wide width shears, all you need to do is find your width and then just scale down till you find what price group you're shearing. So with Carroll, our shears are priced in price group 51 through 67. And so all you need to do is say I had one in group 53 and I need it to be 72 inches wide. So very easy to operate. In addition, we do a how to measure. Won't take a lot of time today telling you how to measure. We do have a couple of webinars that are specifically designed to teach you that. But if you need a little brush up, or if you're working with someone that's new in your store, or you're teaching somebody, this is a great little scenario, just kind of showing you some of the basics. And if you kind of fill in the blanks, just really teaches you how to accurately measure for draperies. We also have a wonderful decorative top treatment section in the lookbook. Exactly, this is what the consumer would be looking at, and they'd be able to see all the different cornice boards that we offer, all the different types of fabric top treatments, swags and cascades, just quite an array. So it's not just 4, 5, 6 little balances. You can actually do some great and wonderful decor applications just using the products that are listed here. And once again, you've got cording, banding, hinged boards, all the things that you would recognize as custom as far as options and upgrades are available. And here again, you kind of feel where we're going here. I go to the next one and I've got a cover page that talks about top treatments. In the top treatments, we can go down and we can look at all the different ones that are offered. You have reference pages to turn to get information, pages to turn to get pricing. So it's kind of like an agenda page or a table of contents, if you will. But when I dive into it, let's just say, for example, I wanted to do a Monticello board-mounted valance. Well, here's all my information. It tells me exactly what it's all about. And then if I wanted to price it, it doesn't get much easier than this. You don't have to figure any yardage, nothing at all. You just simply come down here and say, you know what, I'm using a Group 9 fabric, and I need it to be, say 90 inches. So if I do this correctly, 90, I go across till I find, Group 9, and it's 90 inches, $575 retail. Fabric, lining, labor, all bunched up into one. So you don't have to worry about that. Turn the page. Well, there's some options that go on if I want to, and I'm not showing you all the options, but just to kind of give you an idea of what you can do. But if I wanted to do contrast cording or something like that, I could come down and find whatever price group the cording's in. Here again, go across till I find my 90-inch top treatment. In this case, that's what we were doing. $64. Hey, I got a bay window. How do I do a bay window? Well, there's pricing up here, and there's also instructions on how to measure, but more importantly, $65 per treatment, retail. That's all you have to know. If I'm doing a bay window, they had the boards mitered, cut, and all that good stuff, $65 per window. I need it hinged. I've got a big cornice board, 200 inches, and I want it hinged, $25. It's just that simple. Everything's in retail. Here again, we put in a little how to measure scenario. So I won't take you through all the details, but if I'm doing cornices, it's just basically telling you order tip to tip, or what we like to call the face measurement. And then it walks you through the different cornice boards. Or if you're doing board mounted balances, just kind of walks you through and makes you think that, before when I go out to measure it, these are the things I need to keep in consideration when I'm out measuring the order. And just think, you see, we've talked about draperies, we've talked about top treatments, and then of course we're going to go right into soft shades or Roman shades, as some of you may call them, and the consumer's going to have this in front of them, a nice little glossy, just kind of get them stimulated, but then they can go right in and look at the different shade styles that we make at Carroll Fabrics. In fact, we kind of categorize them. There's traditional shades, which are usually categorized as straight bottom hems. Then we've got the sculptured shades where you've got something going on, a little happy shade or smiley shade, also known as a soft Roman at Carroll Fabrics. And then we've got some sculptured type scenario that we use, or just continuing on, I guess. But then you can do upgrades, you've got the cordless, you've got blackout lining, trim, balances, all kinds of different things that you can do, top down, bottom up, just some great, great stuff that's associated with our Roman shade department. And we do a lot of them, so it's a great value-driven category, and It's very popular, and we just sell a ton of them. And this book, this binder, this Design Essentials program really accelerates that for you. Here again, you've got your table of contents page, if you will, or index, I guess. And if you look down there, you can find the shades you want or the options you want. You can get additional information from it. It's a very, very, very friendly book to operate and use. And, it's just a seller. It's a great, great selling tool. Flip the page, and let's say I wanted to do a front fold Roman shade. I've got all that information at my fingertips. All I got to do is look it up. I don't know, just kind of looking around at this, it tells me I can order the shade inside or outside mount. Inside mount, we do pre-drilled holes in the headrail, so when the installer puts the screw through, he won't run the fabric or snag the fabric. It's got like a little grommet sleeve in there. Look at all the options that you can do to this particular shade. Just tons of them. Motorization, whatever. If I want to price it, we've all seen these kind of price lists before. But think about it. Let's say I've got a nice linen. It's in price group 15. So I think a linen blend is what I looked up. So for example, if I wanted a 48-inch wide shade by, 48 inches, 48 by 48, 412 retail, a beautiful linen blend, boom, you're there. If I want to add an attached valance, all I do is just follow that column down and add that on. Doesn't get much easier than that. Lots of options still. In blackout lining, if I wanted to do blackout lining, look how easy that is to do. I just find the length of my shade and intersect it with the width. I just add that onto the shade price, and now I have blackout lining. So you can just see all these different options. Top down, bottom up, we still sell a lot of those. With child safety, and they are totally child safety. There's some limitations on some of the products, but as far as how wide you can make them, but that's all information that's available to you right at your fingertips, so you can make good, informed, and accurate decisions when you're working with your customer. You've got your fabric groups down here. So in other words, if I just did that shade that we did before, I don't remember the price, but let's just say it was $500, and I come down and I want to turn that into a top-down, bottom-up, I just simply find the fabric group. I think it was 15, and then I go over till I find the width. Wasn't it 48? So for $84, I take that shade, and now I've turned it into a top-down, bottom-up shade with all the features and benefits and manufacturing specs, top down, bottom up for $84. I just bolt that onto my regular price, and I'm off and running. That easy. No cost accounting, no nothing. That was at full retail. You're protected by your margins. We also tell you how to measure. And you've ever measured for inside mount shades or even hard products, we all know all the, checking the window for square and measuring 3 times across. Well, all that information is in there in case you're training somebody new or you want to brush up on it. It's all there for you. So a lot of good information. Even if that was inside mount, and then even outside mounts, we're showing you some of the allowances that you should take. So just a lot of good anecdotal information in there, all contained within the Design Essentials program. We've got a wonderful selection of headboards. There's 3 different headboards. You can get them with or without buttons, all 3. You go into it and it kind of explains, how you do that. So for example, there's our index page. That was simple, wasn't it? There's my 3 headboards. If I flip it and I wanted to price one out, for example, it's just a matter of picking out the fabric group that I want, and then it's twin, full, queen, or king and California king. There's a couple of options I could do, 2-inch buttons. Couple of them, I think I have it on here, is you can do a furniture leg. That's just a little line draw. That's actually a medium stained furniture leg. You can use that as a leg. Or what's very popular now is just this hinging, where you put the one strap or metal bar, if you will, on the back of the headboard, attach another one to the wall, and then you could just hang it on the wall, which actually works pretty cool because, today with all these different mattresses and pillow tops and things like that, you're trying to get the height just right and whatever. This allows you a little flexibility in that regard. So great little headboard program. We've got a neat little bedding program. We're not going crazy in the bedding department, but we do give you some nice custom features. You can get duvet covers, comforters, some pillow shams, and tailored dust ruffle. Very simple. And this is what the consumer looked at. And then you've got your index page once again that tells you the things that we make and kind of gives you reference pages, and you need to look up specifications or pricing. So for example, if I was going to do a comforter all I would need to do is pick a fabric group and go over and pick the size, and that's the price. If I wanted to do some add-ons, I just showed you a couple of them. There's some different add-ons that you could, very simple to operate. So I think you get a feel for what we're doing. It's just so easy to operate. Not only, we tell you how easy it is to price, we have a nice color book for the consumer. Just everybody's on the same page in this program. And then there's even measuring tips after each section. So we never measured for bedspreads or dust ruffles. And there's a couple little tricks involved or some things to keep in mind. So we print all that in this book, so you've got that at your fingertips. There's a wonderful decorative pillow section there. So, pillows are great add-ons, whether it's in the bedroom or living room. And, they can just really, a lot of times people bring color into their room just by what they do with the decorative pillows. So here again, very easy. You've got your index page, tells you the different pillows that we offer and information where to look for specifications based on page numbers. But then also, as I've shown you all throughout this presentation, you've got a wonderful product, information page. It gives you all that information, and you can just see how easy it is. Fabric group, size of the pillow. There's a couple of options that you can do. 1/4 inch cording. You get a button with 1/4 inch cord. But it's just so simple. Take your base price, do your add-ons. It's just that easy. So even in buttons, even in pillows, there's some additional add-ons. We have, if you want to do just inserts, for example, we've got a 90-10 and a 50-50. So a 90 feather, 10% down, or the 50 feather, 50% down. So very nice offering there. So, but you can just see all the different things, even in pillows. So it's custom. So it's not a watered down, dumbed down program. It really gives you access to all the things that we do at Carroll Fabric. So then, if that's not enough, this is a great program. It's like, you remember, talked about earlier that sometimes you have to work with multiple sources. I've got to go get my hardware from vendor A, my fabric from vendor B, my lining from vendor C, and I can go on and on and on. So far, you're all within the Carroll system here. We've got great hardware lines that we carry for you to choose from, so you're never without having some of the best hardware in the industry. And we also carry Kirsch Basic. I used to call it in the old days, and I think people still say that, white track, your white traverse rods. And if you're putting it under a top treatment, something like that, you don't need decorated rods. You need white. You need what I like to call white track, your superfine traverse rods and things like that. But if you're using decorative hardware, there's some wonderful hardware to choose from. So all of this at your fingertips in this program, Design Essentials. And what I touched on earlier in the business model, when we talked about, how do we, bring this thing to a 21st century look, a lot of it centers around using CarrollNet. So sure, you can price out of the book if you want, but all this pricing is also available and easy to order any of these products online using our CarrollNet system. You simply go in, and there's actually a shortcut on the front page where right here where it says Design Essentials, you can just click on that, and boom, you'll have instant access to ordering your product. And when you think about it, no written order forms. You've got an instant stock check. And I always like to talk about this just for a second. You key your order in, and what happens is you get stock check, you get accurate 100% pricing, your profit margins are exactly what they need to be, and boom, you've placed your order within just a couple of minutes. Certainly just as fast, probably faster than trying to write it up once you get a little bit proficient at it. It's just a wonderful way to do business. And I have to tell you, most of our customers now have come over and they're working CarrollNet because, it's electronically filed. You never have to worry about losing. You've got access to your orders. When you go into CarrollNet, you can check open orders, closed orders, you can, track orders. You can do everything on CarrollNet. And what really sets it apart is the ability to actually order custom product in there. So you're never calculating yardage. Like I said, your profit margins are protected. It's just a wonderful, wonderful program. So I want to thank you for letting me talk to you a little bit about this great selling tool. I hope for those of you that have it, hope we shed a little light on some of the great things you can do, a little refresher course. But those of you that don't have it, contact your area territory manager. He is the guy to talk to, or she is the person to talk to. And for a $29 investment, it's a giveaway. It's just an awesome feature, and And we update this from time to time too. So, with different photography, things like that going forward. So it's a program that's not going to go away. It's proven its success, and it really fits into, our business model and how we want to go about doing business, because we know that it's going to be important to you, and we know it's successful. We know if you use it, you'll be successful with it. So with that, I want to say thank you for the time that you've taken out of your busy schedule today to listen to this webinar. We appreciate it. At Carroll, we do lots of webinars. That's what we do. We want to make sure that we're out in front and we have everything that we're doing, most importantly, in front of you. So thanks for your attendance. Have a great day and happy selling. Bye-bye.